let's talk about the massive reality check that Saturn is going to be delivering for us over the next 5 months. This is kind of going to be some challenging energy, but, and there's a big but here, this is also going to be super transformative, super real. So this is meant to really show us the truth of what needs to be seen within our own lives and the truth of the world. So I'm going to get into how Saturn retrograde is going to be affecting us generally and what the messages are generally behind this Saturn retrograde in Pisces, by the way, and it will be retrograding from June 29th until November 15th. And then I'm also going to break down a little message for each sign and how it's going to affect you personally. So stay tuned for that. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kata. I am an intuitive life coach, energy healer, and dabbler in astrology. I love astrology and I love researching astrology, but I call myself a dabbler because there's simply so much to know about astrology that I feel like it will take an entire lifetime for me to learn everything there is to know. Nonetheless, I love astrology, pay close attention to it, and do a ton of research to figure out what the stars are doing, what the stars are saying to us, so that I can convey these messages and integrate them not only into my coaching, but also into these videos for you. So let's talk about the Saturn retrograde, shall we? Saturn retrograde is delivering a massive reality check and asking us and saying to us that it is time to wake up from the mass hypnosis and distorting mirror of social and news media. I'm sure that we are all aware at this point, if you are a social media user, of how much information is on social media and how much information comes through the news and how much distortion there is within social media and within the news, right? The news seems to say whatever suits the agenda, and social media seems to display, or what I personally find, the algorithms are specifically pushing out content that are hypnotizing the masses into more and more submissive and power relinquishing attitudes. So a lot of the content that we see currently on social media is not necessarily empowering individuals to become better versions of themselves, but rather taking away that power from becoming better versions of themselves. You know, there's a ton of plastic surgery stuff I see all over, and plastic surgery has become a rampant issue in our society, which just goes to show what a lack of acceptance we have for ourselves, for the aging process, and what a lack of knowledge we have when it comes to aging gracefully and how to take care of our bodies, how to provide sustenance and nourishment for our bodies in proper ways, right? So there is this sea of information that we are all collectively tapped into, and this sea of information is mostly disinformation. It is incorrect information. And so this Saturn retrograde over the next 5 months is going to shed a huge light on this. It's going to give us this big reality check and show us that, hey, a lot of what you watch are lies. A lot of what you watch is not true. Even conspiracy theories, and how unnecessary it is for us to be feeding our attention and feeding these conspiracies energetically with our minds and with our attention. So with Jupiter in Gemini, and Jupiter is going to be in Gemini until July 2025, exaggeration and disinformation have become the norm as social and so-called news media takes the place of real life experience. So many people are tapped into social media and the news, right? And just blindly believe everything that they see and hear. And how incredibly damaging this is for our psyche, and how incredibly powerless this makes most of us, right? So Saturn retrograding is calling us back to our intuition and say, hey, do you remember that thing logic? Do you remember that thing intuition? Are you using it? Do you trust your own inner guidance system? Or are you always looking outside of yourself? Are you trusting what is always coming from outside of you, right? And there's this questioning that needs to be had within each and every single one of us when it comes to this. So we're meant to wake up and realize how we're giving our power away, relinquishing our logic and brains and intuition to manipulative algorithms, because the algorithms are all super manipulated. They are all very specifically following an agenda. Oh, what a beautiful butterfly. And they're all specifically pushing out certain information, certain content that the powers behind the scenes want pushed out, right? And so this is why certain channels don't necessarily grow as fast or as much as other content that is usually quite mind-numbing and idiotic and supports, powerlessness, is more put out there, right? And it's like there's so much content that now pulls us out of the spirit, right? And is disconnecting us from the spirit more and more and more. And so discernment is going to be hugely important over the coming months, for the rest of this year, actually, in figuring out, does this content serve me to watch? Does it make me feel elevated? Does it make me feel empowered? Does it make me feel good? Or is it simply entertainment? Is it for mind numbing or using it as a distraction? This is about so much of the masses wandering lost and just always looking outside of themselves for information and for guidance, rather than turning within themselves and looking within and reconnecting to intuition and to logic. And this Saturn retrograde on the 29th of June, or beginning on the 29th of June, is actually going to be conjunct Neptune. And Neptune, I mentioned in previous videos, is currently at the 29th degree of Pisces. So it is in the last sign of the zodiac wheel, and it is also in the last degree of that sign, meaning it is ending a massive 165-year cycle. And Saturn is going to join Neptune now for this journey, for the last leg of this Neptune journey, which is initiating a very important time for critical adjustments. So this is critical course correction. That's literally what these two large bodies coming together is symbolizing, is representing. Okay, critical course adjustment. Saturn, okay, the master teacher, joining Neptune in the psychic water sign of Pisces, reminds us to tap back into our own intuitive psychic abilities and pull ourselves out of this rampant brainwashing and hypnotic spell that we've been under, created by social and news media. Okay, so this is this huge wake-up call to like snap out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, get with the program here, and not the program that you've been plugged into, but the program of the cosmos, the program of the universe, and the agenda of the universe, which is to guide humanity back to love, back to self-love, back to sovereignty, back to understanding who you are, understanding your power, understanding your intuition, and that you have this infinite bond and connection with a higher source that is continuously looking to guide your life and your path forward towards more self-love, more self-appreciation, so that you understand your worth, so that you understand that you have the ability to create a magnificent life for yourself here and now. This is big. It's big. So Saturn, representing true reality, is giving us a heads up to expect external events, changing circumstances, and insights that have been in your unconscious to deliver valuable karmic lessons in the second half of this year. Lessons incoming, guys. Lessons incoming. But these are lessons that are going to be so good for us. These are lessons that are going to test us in huge ways, okay? Saturn retrograde means that you will be tested, okay? This is to see if you can align with your heart, with your core truth. Can you reconnect to that? Can you bring that back online and get out of your head? Get out of the hypnotism of what you see in social media, those untruths and unrealistic information, unrealities that we are constantly exposed to. So you will be tested to see if you can align with your truth and trust where it's guiding you, or will you continue giving your power away to fear? Many of us, if not all of us, will be tested about fear? Will you continue to be afraid to do certain things, to go for certain things, to try new things, to have new experiences? Saturn retrograde will also be testing your boundaries. So situations and lessons around boundaries may resurface, and most definitely will resurface for you during these next 5 months until November, mid-November. Are your boundaries firm? Saturn will test that. Have you learned certain lessons about your boundaries, about not giving your power away to other people, about not people pleasing, about making sure that you're able to say no when you need to say no because that's how you genuinely feel, or say yes to something because that's how you genuinely feel? Saturn retrograde will also be testing our foundations. You will have lessons around foundations. What are your foundations? This is deep inner spiritual foundations. Your truth, your value system. Do you live aligned to that value system? Or are you constantly ignoring it? Are you constantly bypassing? Saturn will be also testing your growth to see how much you've grown. See how far you have come. And growth tests always come with some type of a lesson where you have outgrown a certain situation, certain people, certain places, circumstances. And those things that you have outgrown will resurface in your life. They will somehow come back in and test you in some kind of way to see, hey, do you still want to connect to this? That's usually how growth is tested. Saturn will also be testing your resilience and your resourcefulness. So this is about how resilient you are when it comes to those growth tests, right? How much you can maintain this energy of growth that you have been in and have been moving into over time, and also testing your resourcefulness. So how resourceful you can be when it comes to creating these foundations, solid foundations for yourself. That Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces has also been asking us. So this is about really connecting to your ability to create abundance for yourself, your ability to create a solid, safe, secure foundation for yourself. How resourceful are you when it comes to that? Are you willing to do the research? Are you really willing to put in the work that is required for you to build and create these solid foundations for yourself? And if you are aware, you do not need to worry or have any fear around these tests that will be incoming for you over the next 5 months. Embrace them to make you even stronger. And just recognize you're going to see the tests, because tests are always challenges. So when a challenging situation arises in your life and shows up for you, then just remind yourself immediately, oh, there's my test. There's my test. What do I need to do to pass this test? How do I need to honor myself, honor my value system, honor my heart, my knowing, in order to pass this test? So Saturn will be asking us, starting this weekend, to pause and take stock, to allow yourself and your inner map to update itself and catch up to reality, true reality. So ask yourself, and you might want to get a pen and paper for this, or bring out your journal and write these questions down so that you can sit with them, because this is what the pause will be asking you to do, is to sit with these questions and ask yourself these questions. First one is, how successful am I at creating new, more solid foundations of time, money, alliances, and resources? Question number 2. How specifically have I become more reliably self-supporting? How specifically? Think about that. And take your time with these questions for sure. Where am I still flaky, not taking responsibility, or stuck in victim mode? And when it comes to the victim mode, think of all of the different ways in which you feel a victim, and in all of the different areas of your life in which you feel like a victim. So this could be in relationships. This could be pertaining to your finances. This could be pertaining to your health, personal, interpersonal relationships. Think of all of the different ways in which you still play the victim card, where you still buy into that untruth, and where you still don't fully embrace your full power, your full potential, and where you still don't trust yourself to be able to solve whatever difficulty you are moving through. Question number 4. What do I still need to junk, and what do I need to invest in? Where are you currently investing your time and energy, resources? That doesn't benefit you. That doesn't bring you any true satisfaction, heart-based, soul-based satisfaction. And what needs to go from your life? What needs to be junked? What needs to be tossed, thrown out? Question number 5, ask yourself, what is working in my life currently, right now, in this moment, and what is not? And write yourself a list of all of the things that you feel are working, that feel really good to you, that feel like you are in the flow, that make you feel like you're in the flow. And then look at all of the things that disconnect you from that flow. All of the things that you are in resistance about. Once you understand what you are resisting, because what we resist persists, once you understand what you are resisting in your life, then you can start to really take some actionable steps to correct that. And it's about the awareness, the consciousness, the recognition of, wow, I'm in resistance, and resistance doesn't feel good, right? And then stopping that resistance consciously, on purpose. I want to share a quote from Elias Lonsdale's book called Inside Degrees. It's an astrology book, and it details all of the degrees, the degree points planets hit when they are moving through each sign. Maintaining standards, priorities, seems to be the given. Yet something is wrong. It is true that all lies within, and that turning yourself into what you are not is ultimately absurd. But you are not listening, not paying attention to the subtle clues. You are so intent upon self-consistency that you have tuned out far too much in the process. And this shall call forth lessons and hard experiences to crack you open again and to give you a chance to discover afresh what can be when nothing is assumed and nobody has set anything up ahead of time. Do you understand what this quote is trying to say? This quote is ultimately reminding us to tune into ourselves, to not try to change yourself and turn yourself into something you're not, but rather embrace who you truly are in your heart first and foremost. And this quote is also reminding us that lessons will come inevitably, not to hinder us and not to make our life more difficult or challenging, but to actually crack us open, to bring realizations. Realizations typically come from lessons. It's like when we are made uncomfortable, that is when our growth happens the most. So now I'm going to talk about each of the zodiac signs, beginning with Aries, of course. Aries, the message here for you is to take this as a serious nudge to withdraw for a while, to reflect on which of your old goals, dreams, and holy grails have lost their juice, then adjust your priorities. So for Aries, this is a big message about pausing, about sort of isolating yourself a little bit for a time being, and to really think about, what goals, what dreams have you put on the back burner that you've kind of forgotten about, that you just ignored, that deep down connects to your heart space and your heart wants to call you back to. Okay, so this is catching up with your unconscious, and it's about realigning yourself to those goals, those holy grails within you, that wisdom, that truth within your heart space. It is about reconnecting to that. And as always, you can listen to your sun, moon, and rising sign. Rising sign will be most important, then sun sign, then moon sign in terms of priority for this information. Listen to all three. It's going to give you a broader perspective on all the different areas of your life, right? Because your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign all affect different areas of your life. So check out all three if you know them. So Taurus, if it's felt hard going recently since Jupiter left your sign for Gemini, on June 29th, Saturn is turning retrograde in Pisces, giving you the chance to catch up with yourself and to get up to date with the big shifts in your unconscious after April's solar eclipse and Venus-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. So remember, we had that massive Venus-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus, which was a big deal. So Tauruses, you specifically were very much affected by this. And with Jupiter now in the sign of Gemini, this is definitely giving you the chance to catch up with yourself, okay? So this is, again, that reality check, checking in with yourself. And for Taurus, you also need entirely new sources of input, interest, and information. Okay, so Tauruses, this is time to unplug from the same old, and really start plugging into the new. So the way I see this for Taurus is about, expanding your knowledge base, expanding your circle and who and what you're exposed to, really opening yourself up more to new information. It's about getting unstuck within the mind and within your heart space. Geminis. This week, Saturn turns backwards on your midheaven, so expect career progress to stall. Now, don't take this as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, as it gives you space over the next 5 months to work out whether your ladder is up against the wrong wall. So Geminis, for you specifically, this is really about looking at your career, looking at your service to the world, how you show up in the world, how you support yourself with what you support yourself. Is that sufficient? Is that enough? Are you making enough in your current job? Are you earning enough in whatever position you're in? So this is about career. Career is very much highlighted for Geminis at this time and will be over the next 5 months. So basically for the remainder of this year, you've got some sorting out to do, and that's okay. And that's okay. This sorting out will really help you to get aligned with your truth, okay? Because remember that the Saturn retrograde is all about aligning with our truth. This is a reality check, right? So align with your inner truth, with your heart, and discover where it wants to lead you. What would feel better? What would be more in alignment with you in terms of career, aside from what you're currently doing right now? Does what you do right now fulfill you? Mind, body, and soul. Because if not, then over the next 5 months, this is going to be really in your face. It's really, really going to show you, and it's going to give you an opportunity to choose better. Challenges are always about choosing better, right? Recognizing how you limit yourself, recognizing how you hold yourself back, how you keep yourself stuck in a job perhaps that you don't like. And that doesn't serve you. And that doesn't allow you to serve humanity in a more positive way. So be prepared to make a big course correction, Gemini. Okay, this year, for the remainder of this year, you are going to be faced with needing to make a big course correction. Cancers, beautiful Cancers. Happy birthday, by the way. We are in full swing Cancer season. So despite the Sun, Venus, and Mercury lighting up your own sign, it's not all plain sailing for Cancers right now. Jupiter is in your deep 12th house, excavating secrets. Unpick or double check your travel plans and rethink study programs. So again, big reality check when it comes to travel plans, when it comes to study programs, anything that you're interested in or potentially wanting to enroll in. This is about taking nothing at face value right now. So Cancers, there are bound to be some secrets, some information that was hidden from you to surface at this time. So pay attention to that. Your tests may come in through that. And I mean, this is particularly kind of for this week, but ongoing as well as Saturn retrogrades, there will be some secrets that will be uncovered for you that may be uncomfortable. So remind yourself when that happens that you are now tested or challenged to face truth, face reality, and whatever secrets come to light, that they are for your benefit, that it was time that you knew them, it was time that you had this information so that you can make better choices moving forward. Leos, beautiful Leos. This week, as Saturn turns retrograde in your 8th house, it's all about those difficult subjects such as finances, taxes, inheritance, and family secrets. So in the next 5 months, expect to uncover at least one skeleton in your cupboard. And if it's you who's been keeping things hidden, watch as they see the light of day. Okay, so your secrets, if you have been keeping any Leos, may come to the surface at this time and will be revealed or known by others. Or if family secrets, people keeping secrets from you, surface at this time, then again, this is for your own benefit, just like for Cancers. So be sure to, take that information as it comes and allow yourself to process that information. And you will know what to do with that information when you allow yourself to fully tap into your intuition and your higher mind and your heart. So for Leos, some truth coming forward regarding your finances, taxes, any inheritance issues, or surprise inheritance can definitely be in the forefront for you. Either way, the truth will come out. Virgos, expect to have to revisit old issues and emotional scars, potentially, in your closest relationships from June 29th as Saturn turns retrograde in your opposite sign of Pisces for the next 5 months. It may feel as if someone is dragging their feet or even backtracking over a commitment. Take them seriously and dig deeper. That is the message here for Virgos. Okay, so the tests I mentioned earlier for Virgos may come in the form of old issues and emotional scars resurfacing. These typically resurface for more processing, more healing, for a deeper understanding about these situations. So Virgos, I'd like you to remain open to revisiting this and don't resist, okay? This is about stepping out of resistance and really allowing whatever is bubbling to the surface with regards to these relational issues or scars to be healed. Allow these to be seen and felt and processed from a much higher place than where you were before, right? You are already much more healed than you were in the past when these events or situations took place. So revisiting these with a fresh perspective and with a perspective of forgiveness, a time for letting go, a time for releasing, is going to be profoundly healing for you. Libras or Libra rising. With Sun, Venus, and Mercury crossing the pinnacle of your solar chart, your career and reputation are getting a shot of visibility and momentum. However, from June 29th, Taskmaster Saturn's retrograde can create delays and logjams in your work routines and schedules. So Libras, you're going to have to go with the flow. You're going to have to trust more. You're going to have to be okay with any delays that are taking place, and you will be tested with delays. So know that the best approach to things delaying are always acceptance and always remaining in the flow regardless of what is going on, and trusting that that delay is serving a greater purpose. Okay, remind yourself of that when things pertaining to your career or reputation are not necessarily working out the way that you hoped or expected. So don't try to push on through, but go over your plans and blueprints carefully. Okay, Libras? So this is about, sitting down and reassessing. This is a revision of your plans and your blueprints. Scorpio or Scorpio rising. You might have to revise your holiday plans or cut back on some luxuries from June 29th when Saturn turns retrograde, or it might mean removing your rose-colored lenses around one special relationship where things aren't what they seemed. Okay, so for Scorpios, this is going to be a wake-up call around removing those rose-colored glasses, about having a reality check about a special relationship where there is misalignment. So it's about recognizing that misalignment and allowing yourself to get really real with what your needs are at this time. Are you going to continue entertaining something that isn't in alignment with you? Are you going to allow yourself to move past it, move forward? So you will have a test in that relationship zone. It's about taking a look at your holiday plans, any travel plans. Be very vigilant. There's things lined up properly that, you're aware of any potential travel delays or anything like that coming up for you. And Scorpios, also there is a reminder here to cut back a little bit on those luxuries and really make sure that you are looking at your foundations and how you are spending at this time and what you are spending on. Okay? So slow down a little bit and check the facts before moving forward. Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising. With expansive Jupiter in your opposite sign, helping your closest partnerships to blossom and thrive, and Saturn supporting you to build strong foundations at home, life is good. So Sagittarians, I want to congratulate you because you are probably one of the only signs, well, actually you and I think Capricorns have it probably the best right now out of all the other signs. So you are definitely in this beautiful flow state. Sagittarius is a very spiritual sign, so I feel like Sagittarians potentially may be more aligned with their inner knowing and with their heart at this time, which is also allowing all of this flow to really be experienced in your daily life. But the cosmos are also, of course, supporting beautiful relationships to blossom, beautiful connections to blossom, and supporting you in building strong foundations, which is absolutely wonderful. This is exactly what we're supposed to be doing at this time, right? So for you on June 29th, when Saturn goes retrograde, it is nudging you to take a closer look at whether where you live meets your current needs or could do with some updating. This is about home life for you specifically, either renovating the home or So for you, beautiful Sagittarians, this is about reorganizing, decluttering, and nest building. Okay, so there's definitely going to be some updating of the home that you can do at this time, some renovations. It's about taking out the old, getting rid of the junk and making space for the new and making updates that are going to really support you in feeling even better in your home, feeling more relaxed, especially if you work from home. So this is a very beautiful, very positive time to look at improving your circumstances, or you may have to move altogether if your home isn't up to par, if it isn't providing you that sustenance or meeting your needs in the way that you would like. And then this could also be a time for you to potentially look at selling a home or just moving if you are renting. And last but of course not least, beautiful Capricorns, for you, perhaps this recent full moon in your sign has revealed your softer side. So this magnificent full moon that we just had at 1 degree of Capricorn is bringing out your softer side. It's softening you up. The Sun, Mercury, and Venus in watery Cancer are a nudge to bring your powers of empathy to your closest relationships. So Capricorns, this is all about softening your heart. It's just all about letting people in, letting yourself be seen, letting your heart be seen, and also having empathy and compassion for others, especially your close relationships. After all, Capricorn is a healing sign, so Capricorns are healers, whether you know it or not, something that many Capricorns actually keep under wraps. But as your own planet Saturn turns backwards in mystical Pisces, trust your instincts over your logic. So this is all about heart over head for you right now, Capricorns, okay? Saturn is your ruler, so this is really, really supporting you to be even more connected with the softness of your heart, the truth of your heart, and allowing others to see it, to feel it, and to experience it. So that is the full report for each of the signs and for this Saturn retrograde. I want to say beautiful Saturn retrograde because lessons are beautiful. They help us to grow. They help us to become better versions of ourselves. They test and challenge us to see how much we've grown, to see how far we have come, and also to show us how incredibly resilient and capable we are. So all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Do hit a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video. Take care.